Good morning, Bore da, Shadachi. My name's Arthur Turner, and this is my third session in the series of sessions that we're giving for the TUC Cymru Wellbeing Programme. And my previous sessions have been on walking and nature. And this is the third session. This one's concentrating again on the support of nature in maintaining your well-being. Okay, so first of all, I just want to share the screen with you so that you can see what we're going to do today. And this session really tries to get you to capture the wonder of nature. It's been a marvelous May, and I'm speaking to you on the 1st of June. I want you to consider the idea of nature and perspective, and I've got some slides to show you that will help us with that. And getting you conscious of the idea of zooming in and out. There's a book called Zoom, which is a picture that's looks in great detail, but also in great perspective, and I'll try to get you to think about that. And the balance between scanning the horizons and dealing with micro details. First of all, I'd like you to consider, particularly when you're out and you're walking, and particularly as this month is the month where you're being encouraged to do 30 wild things in June. This is a Guardian campaign, which gets you out into the countryside or out into the green or even brown areas of your cities and towns, looking in more detail at what's going on with wildlife. The exercise really is twofold. I mean, firstly is to get you to focus your mind very closely on something in nature. And we're going to look at two examples of something very close and two examples of wider perspectives and horizons. All these pictures are taken on my pictures, and they're taken in Wales, and just describes to you the variety of wildlife and scenery we have in this lovely country. Okay, I'm going to show you the slides and talk through the slides, and then we'll come back to getting you to consider what this all means. Now then, you can see this picture on the screen, and you can see it's a beetle called a flower beetle, and you can see somewhat of its detail, and it's on a dandelion type plant called a hawkweed. Now, I want you to spend a few minutes looking closely at that picture, trying to see it in its details. What can you see that's particular to what I can pick up as I'm looking at it? The colour, the shininess of the beetle itself, and the very vivid colour it's got. And if you look a bit closer, you can see some of its details and the details of the flower itself. So here is the second picture taken from my garden and the broad bean plants that have just about stopped flowering now. This was taken about a week ago, and this is called a common carder bee. Now, you may have seen some of them around. They're often very, very big, and they bumble around as their name dictates. So what do you see there? What do you see in the picture? What is it that attracts you? What is it that repels you, maybe? How much detail can you get your brain to work on? I mean, what's the purpose of the hairs, for example? And you can see it's one hairy leg there sticking out. So again, getting you to think of things in nature, a greater perspective, but also translate that perhaps of some of the more precise details of your own life and your own well-being. So focus and concentrate in zooming into what it means. So that's one way of looking at things, one way of looking at problems and challenges. But you can get perspective by balancing the two, comparing and contrasting. So here's a couple of more scenes, again, taken from nature, taken from near my home, and you can begin to see. So what do you see here in the open skies? What do you see in the distance? Peer into the distance and see if you can pick out any details any fine tuning of your thoughts about this place, rather than just assuming it's a lovely view. And here's another picture. What do you see in the clouds? What do you see in the wider perspective? Look out and open to those perspectives. Okay, this morning I've tried really hard to get you to think about the issues of balance and perspective, of trying to get you to look into fine detail of things, and also look at the wide horizon. So this has an effect, I think, on your mental well-being. It helps you to see the difference between something that is minutely detailed and to the molecule almost, and to gain some perspective as you look out into the wider view of the world and your current situation, possibly. So once again, just going to share the screen with you and go back to the slides. I want you to, particularly in June, and particularly this month, is look at the wonder of nature, all the minute and various details we have, insects, birds, plants, flowers, all around us. And we have noticed in this lockdown how much more chance we've had of seeing these things, perhaps hovering a bit, spending a bit more time, particularly in our walks. This helps us gain some perspective on life and our well-being, how we perceive threats and challenges, how we view our future, and how we view the present. And by zooming in and out, by getting this perspective of looking at things in minute detail, in micro detail, at the same time as looking wider in macro detail, helps to perhaps balance and keep us calm and gain perspective over our problems, challenges, and issues. So when you next go out, I want you to consider perhaps stopping a bit and having a look at something in more detail. Mosses on walls, bees on plants and flowers, as well as stopping sometimes where you come to a hill or where you've got a really good view, getting your eyes, learning to rescan the horizon to see way into the distance in order to help maintain your well-being. Okay, it's been another pleasant way of spending some time with you. I hope you enjoyed my second nature session. My next sessions are going to be on coaching. So look forward to seeing you then. Au revoir d'abord. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Au revoir.